Now, back in 2024, I set out to build out a massive position relative to my personal portfolio in the NEOS S&P 500 High Income ETF, or ticker symbol SPYI. And as of today, I currently have around 851 shares across all my portfolios combined, with an average cost somewhere in the 48 range. Now, over the past year, I'm not only up in my position just a little bit, but I've been paid massive amounts of income every single month from this ETF, and I'm going to share with you guys later on in the video exactly how much. But more importantly, in this video, we're going to go over the NEOS S&P 500 High Income ETF, or ticker symbol SPYI, and I'm going to share with you guys why I think this ETF could be a massive buying opportunity for those investors that want some upside potential but also want a boatload of income from day one. Now, it's only fair I make this video because this ETF has transformed my portfolio over the last year in multiple different ways, and I'm definitely hoping that it can continue to do the same for my portfolio and for yours later on. So if you're interested in learning a little bit more about this ETF and why I personally own so much of it and why I love it so much, make sure to stick around, drop a like down below, and let's get right into it. If you are a dividend investor who wants to level up your portfolio, you need to be tracking your dividend income consistently. And that's why I created the perfect dividend tracker that I've used to scale my dividend income up to all-time highs over the last year. Now, along with this dividend tracker, you're also going to receive my A to Z dividend investing ebook, which shows you how I personally started from $0 several years ago to now where I earn over $7,500 per month in dividends. So if you want this tracker and the ebook, go to the first link down below in my description and grab it today. Now, even though this ETF is relatively new, it has been trading well over a year now. The inception date is 8/30/2022. Now, what's really cool about all these different strategy, high income, covered call style ETFs that have been out for now, let's say 1 year, 2 year, 3 or 4 years, we now have a decent amount of data to go off of. I mean, a lot of these ETFs, when they first came out, the number one thing that naysayers would say is, it's brand new, let's see what's going to happen. But over the time that this ETF specifically has been trading, it's offered a nice positive total return, along with a nice annualized return. But most importantly, for some of us investors that love cash flow, it's offered consistent payouts every single month. Now, just to go over some of the basics when it comes to this ETF, again, a lot of you guys probably already know this, but this ETF seeks to distribute high monthly income generated from investing in the constituents of the S&P 500 and implementing, you guessed it, a data-driven call option strategy. Now, a lot of people also ask me, there's so many covered call style ETFs out there, there's even so many that track the S&P, how do I choose the right one? And I'm going to make an entire video talking about that exact thing very soon, but at least my idea, my thought process is, all the different ETFs out there, they all have websites, they all explain their strategies, they all explain what they're intending to offer. You need to go through all their different strategies and objectives and see exactly what matches what you're looking for. It's really as simple as that. Now, I've said this before and I'll probably say it again, but SPYI matches almost exactly what I personally am looking for in an investment objective. And meaning that this ETF offers income from day one, somewhere of around a 12% distribution rate, but also it does so very tax efficiently. And this is by utilizing tax loss harvesting opportunities and of course by classifying section 1256 contracts, which are subject to lower tax rates. This fund also distributes a lot of its income in the form of return of capital, which can also be helpful depending on what your tax strategy is. Now, lastly, because this ETF at times is going to buy index options as well as sell them, there's going to be a protection layer, at least somewhat with the selling of it, and even some upside potential at times because this ETF at times is going to purchase SPX options, which means even though this ETF is a high income ETF, which let's be real, it's basically for those that want a lot of income consistently, there is still some upside. Now, the main thing this ETF has done very well over the last year, let's be real here, it's paid out a massive amount of income to investors every single month, including myself, anywhere from around 50 cents per share per month, more or less. Now, at times it's been a little bit more or a little bit less, but I love the fact that this ETF sort of has a targeted amount, at least they have so far, which you can kind of expect to receive this month, the next month, and the next. Now, JEPB or JEPQ, for example, they have similar strategies to SPYI, but they don't pay the same exact amount every single month. You might get one month where you get a 60-cent payout, the one month where you get a 30-cent payout, and of course, I can't speak for everyone, but with my OCD, I love the fact that I can sort of expect around 50 cents per share per month for every single share of this ETF that I buy. Now, speaking of OCD or a slight dopamine hit, every single share of SPYI that you buy, because on average it does pay around 51 cents more or less per share per month, this means that for every share that you purchase, which is around $50 per share, you're going to be adding around 2 quarters to your forward dividend income moving forward next month. Now, that's a super fun mental game that I use consistently, and I love using my custom dividend tracker to basically see, okay, how many shares of SPYI can I buy today, and how much forward income is that going to give my portfolio because of those purchases. Not to mention, because this ETF now has been trading for quite some time, we we are starting to see whether or not this ETF is going to decay or is going to grow or even trade sideways, which would honestly be fine. But at least so far, since around August of 2022, the ETF, as far as price return goes, is up around 5 or 6%. Now, I know before you jump up and down too high, that's not necessarily the biggest price return that we've seen over this time frame. I mean, you could have pretty much invested into anything and made more. But if you take into consideration total return, all those massive payouts every single month, then we're looking at a much larger total return, which I'm going to share with you guys here in a second. Now, I promise to share with you guys exactly how much I'm earning per month as of right now when it comes to SPYI as far as income goes, and because I've gathered up around 851 shares over the last year, which, side note, I'm probably pretty much done buying at this rate just because that's turning into somewhat of a larger position now in my personal portfolio. But with the amount of shares that I currently have, if SPYI currently pays around 51 cents more or less per share per month, I'm looking at around $434 in income on a monthly basis. Now, this not only means that if I wanted to use this income to buy more shares of SPYI, I could buy around 8.5 shares every single month based off of the income from this ETF alone, which that's exactly how you start building the dividend snowball. That's how you really start to compound things. But for me personally, I've been using the income from SPYI to buy different other high income ETFs, diversifying throughout my portfolio, and even other dividend growth style ETFs like SCHD, of course. Now, because this ETF has not been trading all that long, we are going to see how this one, along with a lot of other ones, do withstand during different market turmoil, volatility, and different things like that. But all we can go off of as of right now is the historical performance of this ETF and the amount of cash flow that I've personally have earned in my portfolio every single month, which I can honestly say I'm very happy with. Now, last but not least, this ETF obviously has paid a ton of income. It's even up a tad as far as price return goes, but over the past 2.35 years, with a $10,000 investment into SPYI, with dividends being reinvested along the way, we're talking around a 33% total return, or around 13% per year. Now, even with reinvestment turned off, you're still looking at around a 28% or around 11% return per year. Now, can you get a better return by investing into the S&P 500 over the next 10 or so years? Because of the cover call overlay, you might have some more upside potential there, but if you're an investor like myself that favors cash flow and are willing to give up, or other ETFs like these ones could be good opportunities at least to look into. So now that we talked about SPYI, the NEOS S&P 500 high income ETF, and I share with you guys the distribution rate, how much I earn in income every single month from this one as of right now, and my honest thoughts when it comes down to it, I lastly, most importantly, want to hear from you guys down below. When it comes to higher income style ETFs that you're buying in order to earn a nice steady amount of income, but also want a little bit of upside, what are some of the top names you're looking into and or buying across the market as of right now? Drop some of the ticker symbols in my comments down below. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to please drop a like on it and subscribe for more future content like this. Thanks as always for stopping by, and if you are interested in investing, make sure to check out these recent videos I posted right here.